hopefully quick on the Explorer. So the Explorer is about to go on another vacation. Hopefully this one will not be 10 months long. I've been watching it since Streetcar Takeover in whatever month that was. I think it was April. Just kind of seeing what it's doing. We noticed it was running kind of warm at Streetcar Takeover, so when I got back from that, I started looking at some different cooling options, talking it over with my tuner, and then of course like my shop that I use. We were kind of strategizing on that. In the meantime, while that plan was being laid out, one of my back tires was not holding pressure, so I was also investigating that. And then I had also developed some new weird situation where it would be like random control modules would fail. And it wasn't consistent, and it was every time I'd get in the car, pretty much, it would be just a different random module would say no communication, which is normal, but this was like a failure, no communication, not like a just lost communication with the PCM. So we were getting a bunch of random ones. It would be an all-wheel drive module one day, and then the next day it'd be the, traction control module, and then the next day it would be the steering control module, steering column control module, whatever. So fast forward, finally figure out what that issue was. The negative terminal battery control monitor module thing. The one that's on the negative terminal had arced, or something happened. It wasn't tightened down all the way at some point. I don't know, or it came loose, totally possible. But it melted. So the actual control unit was melty, and then sorry, I'm in a roundabout situation in the truck. So the control module unit had melted. I replaced that. That completely fixed and stopped all of the other issues with the like random modules failing. So that was a good fix for a couple of weeks. Flash forward a couple of weeks, and now I'm having an issue where again stuff is failing, but this time it's more consistent and it's all kind of in one place. So now all of a sudden I started having an exclusive set of failures that was power steering control module, and the power steering would randomly go out. So I would go to turn the car on. If the car would start, I wouldn't have power steering. But then a couple, days later, I would go to start the car and I would have power steering. So, and it was like if I, yanked the wheel one way, I would have power steering, whatever. So I ultimately just went ahead and sent it to Ford because I felt like Ford was the appropriate person to handle a power steering issue. Given that I was still under warranty, I have the extended service plan, whatever. So got it towed into Ford. They replaced steering rack completely and under warranty, which was awesome. So they took care of that, and then they also replaced some of the toe links, or not toe links, control arms. And I don't remember if it was upper or lower. It was just one of the sets of control arms. We got that all taken care of. Things were a lot better for a while. So after that, things were, oh no, I don't remember. Anyways, it's been so many times that I just don't remember it all correctly anymore. But anyways, the point is, replaced steering rack, got the car back. It was okay for a while, then it wasn't okay. It was doing the same thing again where it wouldn't start. So we're watching the voltages, we're checking starters, alternators, battery. I mean, like, everything is fine. At one point, I replaced the battery even though the battery was fine. I also ended up replacing the starter even though the starter was fine. The starter replacement did fix it for a short period of time, and then it would start consistently again. But before we replaced the starter, they took it in because it wasn't starting and they couldn't figure out what was going on with it. So the best thing they came up with was replacing the purge valve. So they replaced the purge valve, and that was the time that it did nothing. It was like 3 starts later and it wouldn't start. So then it got sent back in, and then that was when we replaced the starter. Again, the situation was, can't find anything really wrong with it. Starter test fine, alternator test fine, battery is fine, everything else we can look at is fine. The only questionable thing would be the starter, if that's the code we're getting and that's what is failing. We don't know anything else. So replace the starter. Replacing the starter did correct some of the issues for a while. I had about a total of like 10 to 12 days worth of driving with no issues. And then last week I was driving through traffic. Trans temps seem to get higher than they normally do. I was at 215 just in town going to the grocery store, and trans temps were 215. Got out of the car, went into the grocery store, got my stuff. 40 minutes later, came back out, and the car wouldn't start. Let it sit in the parking lot for about 4 hours, and went back that night, and the car started just fine. So the other thing it's been doing now is, and I have only driven it one other time since then, it did start right up, but I'm not trying to drive it because about 2 weeks ago, something like that, I don't know when, it started making a rattle noise, like if you imagine like a soda can dragging behind the back of your car, except it sounds like it's coming from under your car. That's what it sounds like. So that's not a good sign. We put it up on the lift, started it to see where the noise was coming from. Definitely sounds like it's coming from the transmission. It honestly, when you're under the car, it sounds like it's coming from the cooler, the trans cooler, but it could be coming from anywhere, honestly. It's just hard to track that down super great. So I've been keeping an eye on that. Really only have been driving the car that, you know, last couple weeks in town. Really for the last week and a half, I haven't driven it, but now we feel like we have a good game plan. Kind of have done some diagnostic stuff on it and feel like we have a good idea of what needs fixed and what might be wrong with it. So I am sending it down to RSA now to have it pulled apart and looked at and repaired. If I were to guess, I would say that I will probably have a new, look, here she is. There. Oh, Dora. My poor car. Anyways, if I were to guess, I would say I'll probably have a new valve body and a new torque converter in the next month and a half or so. Probably gonna throw some other parts and pieces at it. We're just at that point, but realistically, I'm not upset about this. I mean, it sucks. Like I didn't get to compete this season the way that I wanted to, and that's okay. There's always next season. And it also sucks because like I miss my car. So, you know, Michael's driving the Supra every day. I'm driving the Raptor every day. The Supra really was next on the list to like finish the big build part. But we haven't gotten that far because the Explorer's been broken. So we can't be down the Supra for a long time, and we're not going to get a fourth car. Well, we have a fourth car, but it's like the kids' car. But we're not going to get a fifth car. Like that's just crazy. We have the truck, we have the Explorer, we have the Supra. We just have to be smart about how we tackle this, but it sucks. I'm not looking forward to having the Explorer down for a while again, but it's realistically, it's been down since March. Like I haven't been able to drive it the way that I like to drive it, outside of, like I did, you know, streetcar takeover, but I've really been nice to it and gentle with it and just kind of watching all this weird stuff unfold, and I just don't trust it to not, you know, to go take it full throttle. But again, this is also part of, you know, when you notice something is a little bit off with your car, don't go dog it. Like don't, you know, everyone jokingly says like you just turn the radio up and like you don't hear it. Yeah, I mean that's true, but at the same time, hopefully, because I haven't been crazy with it and I've been paying attention to all these like little things that are happening, hopefully I've saved like the transmission, you know, from needing a total rebuild, which you're gonna go through more valve bodies hopefully than you do clutches and steels and trans rebuilds completely, but that's a lot easier to do than rebuilding a whole transmission. It's also a lot less expensive. So we're hoping for the best. The converter sucks. I mean, like that's an expensive thing to do, but it is what it is. I think if I have to replace the converter, I'm probably gonna put the Suncoast converter in it. I think we're doing a 5800 stall. So anyways, that's my quick update. I'm done rambling. Hopefully I'll be posting other random stuff soon. So that's it. Bye guys.